Hey guys, welcome back to another video, live. I have a friend coming over. We're going to hang out. I actually, it's awesome because I was obviously we create based off of our thoughts, and I was, I'm not going to get into specifics what I was thinking, but soon after that, a friend that I have not seen since, I don't know, I'm 52 now, as some of you guys know. And I think I was probably 20, I don't know, 25 or something, the last time that we saw each other and hung out. And we're just gonna, I guess, hang out and stuff. I don't know, maybe just chat and catch up for a couple hours today. And then I have my outdoor sofa being delivered. So this is gonna be a very short video because she actually already left. So I'm sorry if I have to disrupt this quickly. But I just put up a video, or I'm editing a video today of how it's just a perfect example of how I want to tell stories of times where I was very conscious and aware of my thoughts and my feelings, and how I didn't allow my reality in the 3D to at all sway me from falling out of what it was that I knew was going to be my reality. I just knew it was going to be my reality. I am 100% a believer, and you have to be 100% a believer. And before any of you guys comment on that or get afraid, in the beginning stage of it's almost like you have to create, when you're working on your self-concept, you're literally creating an alter ego. That's what I did in the beginning. That's the best way to kind of say it. I used my ego and I used my limiting beliefs to basically help me shape who I wanted to be. So then I created that version of me in my mind. And then every day when I woke up in the morning, that is who I was that day. And if at any time I had any beliefs, or if anything happened in the 3D that wasn't in alignment with that version of me, it didn't matter. It just didn't matter. I didn't let it matter. I don't want to be ranty with you guys today. I don't want to come down on you, but sometimes you guys keep asking the same questions over and over again, and I'm loving you guys, and I'm like sending nurturing, loving energy to you all the time. But it's going to be like one day I'm going to come on alive, and it's going to be like a question and answer thing. And literally every single answer that I say to every single one of you guys, no matter what you ask me, is going to be, yep, persist, doesn't matter. Yep, persist, doesn't matter. Yep, persist, doesn't matter. And a lot of you guys are like, but I have been persisting and I've been doing this for years. I've been doing this for months. I'm really tired of it. But I'm going to challenge you like I always do, because the only way for you to grow and to evolve is if somebody with love challenges you. So that's what I'm here for. You are not truly persisting, okay? If you don't truly trust in the process. If you truly trusted in the process, you wouldn't care what things showed up in your 3D. If you truly trusted in God, you wouldn't care what showed up in your 3D. You would know that your end exists now. That is manifesting. That is trusting. That is what it's all about. So that is persisting. Now, granted, I know, and same for me, I can make a decision right now that I want to manifest something in particular in my life in whatever area. And when I first install the new thoughts, when I install the new alter ego of me, my new self-concept on whatever the subject matter is, when I first kind of download the new beliefs, right? I want to overwrite the old beliefs with the new beliefs. I want to overwrite the old story with the new story, which is going to entail completely dropping the old story completely. It's dropping your memories of it. It's letting it go. It's not holding on to it anymore. It is detachment. It is true detachment. And then I'm going to write the new story, which means I'm going to do it however is going to resonate with me. For me, it's going to be looping affirmations. It's going to be having a bunch of imaginal acts and inner conversations. It's literally going to be me putting myself in a blissful experience morning, noon, and night. And what's going to happen is when I first download that, even me, even right now, my ego is going to fight me on it. And when that happens, it's going to feel uncomfortable. And it's going to be frustrating. And I might go through some wrestling. But at some point, after a couple of weeks or so, that should subside if I'm truly on my mental diet and if I'm truly in trust of my end. So what happens is I hear back from a lot of you guys. If you can hear that in the background, I'm sorry. I hear back a lot from you guys. And your comments and your questions show me that, you might say, I understand manifesting. I know that everyone is me pushed out. Excuse me. I know that circumstances don't matter. I know this and that. And then like even usually this happens during a first client session. Excuse me. My eyes are watery today. Let's take it as an example, like during like the first client session, and we go over the old story, and then we go over, okay, this is what we need to install. These are the new beliefs that we need to install. And I need you to stay really focused and stay consistent and do this morning, noon, and night, and do this along your mental diet. And we find out through the session, what is the best way for this person? Like what resonates the most for my clients? Because everybody's different. It might be a combination of inner conversations. It might be a combination of scripting. It might be a combination of you name it. And then we come up with we just go like literally head to head with the old story. Okay. During the first session, often somewhere in the middle of the session or beginning or the end, the person may literally ask me, and this is after they believe that they understand what law of assumption and manifesting is, but they will ask me, so can this really work? And it's right there that I know, okay, it's totally fine. I'm going to be patient here. But right there and then I know you actually don't, this is that you have seen a lot of videos, heard a lot of videos, maybe you've read, but you haven't actually realized how deep and true this is, and you haven't actually adopted it in your belief system because you don't actually believe it yet. If you did, you wouldn't ask those questions. But as a coach, the things that I like to look for are basically, I start to see after a couple of weeks of our sessions, I usually start to see a lighter attitude. The person usually reports back to me that they're starting to feel better, that they got through the ugly period. Usually we meet weekly, usually, that they got through the hard period of like, that was really tough. They're sleeping better, they're feeling better, they're feeling from the end more, they're thinking from the end more, and they're either seeing inner shifts, which is a success to me when you're starting to see inner shifts and you're starting to think of yourself differently, you're starting to think of people in your life differently, you're starting to see life differently, you're starting to believe and trust in God more. But then a lot of the best part for me, the most exciting part for me that I love so much is when I'm meeting on, it's usually around the third or fourth session. Sometimes it's the second session, but usually it's around, it depends on how big the story is, around the third or fourth session when my clients tell me that like I'm not going to use some of the language, because usually it's so exciting that there's some swearing involved, but in a good way, that they'll report back to me that, wow, like, they just called me, they just texted me, or they just commented on my post, or we just hung out, or we just had a long conversation, or this and that. Like, this is after like months of nothing. So anyway, when those things happen, it's very gratifying. So the reason I came on though today was to talk about how Christina, hi Sunshine, how are you? Happy Sunday for you guys. Kat, hi Kim with a heart back to you. Dia, happy Sunday, Kim, happy Sunday to you. I literally just came on because I wanted to hang out with you guys just for a few minutes. I've been obsessing lately. I feel kind of, see, this is where our minds get the best of us. I literally have to, some of you guys know I've been teaching myself Italian with, the app is called Babbel, and it's really awesome. And the reason why there's a number of reasons why I decided to do this. Number one, my dad told me, and I've forgiven my dad since, but my dad had told me growing up that I was stupid and that I wouldn't be able to learn another language. It was too hard, so that I should just stick with English. He was, well, I'm not going to get into a lot of that with him, but anyway, I have a passion. I'm half Italian. I have a passion for Italian culture. I have a passion for Italy. And I really have always wanted to be able to speak Italian. So, and I have a few clients in Italy, and I love, 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 love meeting with them. And one of them in particular, Diana, you are a goddess and I adore you. But I just wanted to say that, so I really, learning Italian has been a big deal for me. And it's something I've always wanted to do. And I was always had that little voice, which was what? It was him. It was the wound of that I wouldn't be able to learn. I couldn't learn. And that played itself out with me years ago too, which I'm not going to go into, but I've been teaching myself Italian. This is what I've been doing lately. And then I was doing really well. And then I literally stopped. And so, which means now, so it's only been a few days and I stopped all the lessons. And I realized I stopped because I started to have that little part of me get afraid and like, tell me that, okay, this is starting to get hard. You're not going to be able to do this. So I stepped back from it and I decided to focus all my energy on designing, because that is another passion of mine. So I've been like, I don't know if you can see this, it might be blurry, but I've been just doing more design in my place here. I have like super feminine, floral, funky wallpaper going up in a few days. I was wrong about, I did a live the other day. I thought my Task Rabbit guy who's going to put the wallpaper up was coming that day, and I got the scheduling wrong. So now I have to reschedule, hopefully for tomorrow, but they'll be it'll be very floral back there, because I'm trying to do like this very much represents kind of masculine and feminine energy. And I definitely need more of the floral vibe in here. So anyway, I wanted to see if you guys had any questions. Very few people on right now, which is totally understandable because it is a Sunday afternoon and I never put up any warning. But if you guys have any questions, I'm on for a few minutes. And I'm happy to answer some questions. But again, a lot of the answering is it's going to I have to start just being a little more blunt with you. I did want to actually address two comments under, one was a post that I put up the other day, and you guys should really read it. It's basically an awesome morning, afternoon, evening affirmation for specific person. Hey, Tony, how you doing? Good to see you. But somebody commented, the post was awesome. I am so loved and so lovable, I think would be the title of it. So I wonder if I should read this for you guys really quick. Hold on, let me see if I can get to it. Because it was an awesome post and you guys can use this, but somebody commented on it. I want to talk about what they commented. So I'm going to go through this quickly. Okay. I am so loved and so lovable. I am cherished to the depths of my soul. I am worthy being the object of my desire's desire. My lover loves me more than words. I am fully treasured for simply being who I am, because to my lover, I am perfection. In this moment, I am in my lover's mind because I am it. I am the one for my lover because this is how we were created. I accept and I allow myself to be cared for, secure, and showered with affection. I love being spoiled. My lover loves me deeper and deeper every moment. My lover's core literally burns for me. Our union is pure. We are merged together. Nothing can come between us. This is God engineered. It is perfect. We are happy. It is done. We exist together now. So literally, guys, I would, maybe I should do a nice slow paced meditation with that, because this is such a powerful, these are good affirmations you guys could incorporate in your day. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this was somebody commented on it. And if you're watching, I don't mean to call you out, but I do want to use your comment as an example of how we definitely we let things get in our way. And the comment was, so where I said nothing can come between us, the person said, what is nothing? What does that mean with crown chakra? Is that an entity still keeping you separated and your lover not at their greatest whole self? Isn't that even transcendable together, not wheel of time style? And my response to that was, I was like, no, it's really very simple. Nothing means nothing. Everything is with ease, not complicated with chakras, wheels, etc. Literally, nothing equals no thing. Like, it doesn't matter, meaning on that energetical level, right? Subatomically, you are particles, which is matter, but you are also wave, which is light, which transcends time and space. When you say nothing matters, circumstances don't matter, it means that unless your consciousness is constantly being observed on whatever it is, like it or not, it doesn't matter unless your consciousness is constantly observing it. In other words, it doesn't matter means that those particles will not solidify in your life unless you continually observe them. So you need to continually observe only what it is that you want, over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. The other comment that I wanted to say was my girl, Lady R, literally just, if she's on, give a shout out to Lady R. Lady R, you in the house? Lady R, anyone? Guess not. Okay, so Lady R wrote, this was, let me see what this was on. Okay, this was actually in response to the latest live, which was, I called it Manifesting, Persisting, Trusting the Process in Deep Relationships. Need a sip of water before I say Lady R's question. And again, in case you're coming on right now, I'm going to have to cut this short when my friend gets here. She'll probably text me when she's outside or whatever. Okay, so Lady R wrote, hi, Kim, do you think it's possible to manifest an SP to shift from being an atheist to someone who believes in God? I do. And I'm going to explain it from a very spiritual perspective, from my perspective. This is just me. It's my channel, so I speak from my perspective, okay? To me, God is love. If it is love, it is God, period. Okay. To me, when you're manifesting, you're not changing. You are literally not manipulating or changing or trying to control anyone outside of you. You are simply selecting the option of seeing and experiencing what you want in your life. It is that simple. Again, mirror principle of life. It's not complicated. Our egos and our worries make it complicated because we're still in disbelief. So Lady R, you would select, the point I wanted to make was, on a spiritual level, you never want to want something for anyone that they wouldn't want for themselves, okay? So I think, from my perspective, God is all love. So how I would see this is, I would only want to see the version of this person, whomever it is in my life, as being basically touched by God, that God came in and showed them God, that they suddenly had a realization, and that they were, all of the things that in my mind would define like that kind of personification of somebody who believed in God. Okay. So I'm not going to get into what that looks like, but you basically, so let's put it this way. I don't know if some of you guys are like really understanding the depth of this. Right now, there is a version of me that is not a YouTuber. There's a version of me that is like straight, right? There's a version of me that could be married to a man. God forbid, sorry, not for you guys. I love you guys, but not for me, just not for me. That's all. I love men, just not for me. So, but there is a version of me right now that is straight, that may have kids, right? There's a version of me that is an atheist. There is a version of me that, you name it. And there's a version of all the different people that are in my reality that have all different belief systems in themselves. So I'm just going to always choose with love and with purity to only see that which I believe the person would want to feel. That is the golden rule. That is very clear. You don't wish basically something for someone that you don't believe that they would be happy basically with those particular feelings or attributes. Okay. I hope that makes sense. But yes, you can, you would just only see that person in God's love, only see that person loving and having that, all that power and all that love basically flowing in them. Okay. So hopefully that answered Lady R's comment. Let's see. So Christina, I have recently discovered a pattern of my insecurities and were mirrored to me. I have forgotten my father, who I suspect of being the root in that. Yeah. A lot of times the fathers are. I have a great relationship with him now. Wonderful. But how do I get rid of the insecurities that still bother my daily life? Try what I did. You want to go back and what I did was I went back to times and moments in my life where my dad was pretty much like kind of neglectful and abusive with me. And I just brought him in as the version that I saw glimpses of that really, really adored and loved me. And I tried to also make it a point to remember those things. I brought him in and I basically said what I had to say to him, and I allowed him to apologize to me. And it was very loving. And basically he explained to me that we had the inner conversation, that he loved me very much, that I was his princess, that he adored me, and that he was very sorry, that he never meant to show up for me that way, that he was in his ego, he was in his own fear from people in his life, his brother and his family, whoever in his family, I think it was his brother, who were basically kind of emotionally abusive with him. And he apologized for it, and I forgave him. And then I had to forgive myself, because when my dad was on his deathbed, he didn't, at that point, he couldn't consciously see me or hear me. I didn't have a chance to tell him that I forgave him and for peace to be with him and that I love him. And I didn't have a chance to say anything kind of, that I would want to say to him. So I had some pain around that too, that I didn't actually have the time. I had regrets that I hadn't got to the point where I am now when he was on his deathbed. And he passed away basically feeling probably very bad about what happened, what he did to me. And I wish that I could have let him know I forgive him, that he could have died in peace, or that the last thoughts of me would have been good. But I had to forgive myself with that too. So Christina, that's what you do. You just forgive whomever, you forgive your dad, bring him in. And then also what I did was I did some inner child work on his inner child. So the little boy that was in him, that was causing him to treat others badly, the little boy who felt less than, who was made to feel inferior, that little boy just needed love. So what I did was I also brought his little inner child in, and I saw his little inner child hurting and sad, and I comforted and gave him a ton of love until he was like smiling and looking happy. So that's how I did it. The process did not take long. The process of being in that sadness, that wound, was through many years of my life. Sorry. But the process of the healing, literally, a couple weeks, that's it. When I decided to really and truly do the inner work, it was fast. So don't think that the healing process has to take a long time. It doesn't. I'm just going to do something really quick. Give me 1 second. Just text me when you're downstairs. Okay. So I hope that helps, Christina, but do that. Trust me, it works. It's very powerful, and it will clear the little part of you that you didn't realize that was creating the stories that was keeping you kind of in that wound. Okay. It works. And know when you're doing it that it works. Andre, what up? How are you? What's up? Andre, you kill me. I love you. Your posts always kill me. So if you guys ask any questions while I am on today, I'm sorry, but a lot of my answers are going to be straight up like, I'm sorry, but you're not. It starts to get to a point where it's all very redundant, because it's always the same thing. It always will boil down to not trusting, period. Not trusting, it's either that you don't have your self-concept clear, okay, or that you don't trust the process, which if you had your self-concept clear, you would, or that you don't trust God. So it's going to be one of those things. If you address those deeper things, then you will see a shift and you'll see a change. I see it with myself, obviously, for years, since 2005, 2006. What are we, 2023? So how many years has that been? I see it with my clients. When my clients are super consistent and they trust the process, and they can get out of the obsessive pain and the obsessive fear and just to learn how to drop the old story. And sometimes I go through a ton of things with my clients, right? But when they start to shift and they start to actually see the 3D reflecting them, then they start to become more empowered and they get it. But you have to drop it. You have to drop the old story completely. Like usually with my clients, when I'm working with my clients, if they start to dive deep into the old story, my thing is just always to bring them back. Okay, but what is it that you want? Like, what is it that you want here? Okay. So if I answer some of your questions, I'm sorry, but I am going to be very blunt today because that's the mood I'm in. That's the energy I'm in right now. And it's not in a bad way. It's just in a, like, if I don't do this, you guys are going to stay in your way. And I want you guys to pull yourself out. So Reg and Jenna, hi, Kim. I'm still feeling like I'm being taken over by sadness of not having my person often. And even if I try, it's hard to bring myself back to the wish fulfilled. I go affirmations and self-love. So I think you're saying that you are going affirmations and self-love. You need to focus when you're feeling, so when you're having the triggers of insecurities come up, you're attached to the old story still. Make a conscious choice to understand how the old story happened to begin with, that it wasn't your person. Detach the old wound, the fear that created the problem with the person, detach that from your person. Only see your person in the highest light and work on the parts of you that were scared and insecure because they have nothing to do with your person. They have everything to do with something that happened when you were growing up. It was not your fault. You were worthy when you were brought into this world. You are still worthy, but sometimes we end up getting hurt, and then we carry this wound along with us that tells us we're not worthy, we're not enough, we're going to be abandoned, we're going to be rejected. That is a lie. It is a lie. And the thing is, when we get triggered and we get attached, the little part of ourselves that was made to feel those things is triggered. All it means is it just needs attention. It just needs love. So give that little part of you love and get your power back. Don't continue to affirm just yet for your other person. Love the little parts of you. Give the parts of you some love until that little part of you subsides and feels better. Then when you're feeling better, then go back into your affirmations. But you have to also remember that circumstances literally never matter, and they always will shift and change according to you. Okay, Tony, chakra blockages occur from us holding on to trauma, be it mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. We just have to release. Yes, but also you don't have to fall into any kind of, like, I know a lot of people will use placebos or tokens like chakra systems, things like that. Like, I know, but the truth is you can just like literally, like, sometimes it's okay. Like if that makes you feel better, fine. But you don't have to manifest. You don't even have to think about or know what a chakra is. Like, it doesn't even have to exist. All of that is they're just tokens. They kind of don't matter. They're illusionary things that people subscribe to in order to, feel that they are getting grounded or aligned with something outside of themselves. There is nothing outside of you. Okay. There's nothing outside of you. So, Ray Light, God forbid, ha, ha, ha. Oh, I wish I knew what that was. I'm not sure. Hey, Kim, I hope you have a good day. Love you. I love you too. Andre, I'm going back to you. Oh no, now he skipped. I have a good turnout considering I wasn't giving you guys any heads up. Andre, I went to similar situation with my pops. He got dementia. Yeah, it's sad. It was so sad. He forgot me and I never got to patch up our relationship. Yeah, I get it. So if I were you, I would do what I described. Just do it for yourself. Whether you think it's an issue right now or not, just do it. It doesn't take long. It can just be a solid week of just forgiving yourself. You don't want to carry the feeling of shame and guilt around with you and regret, because that's a state and it's an energy. Okay. Andre, you also wrote, I love you too. Oh, thank you. I love you too. I'm a super duper. It's 7 degrees in Toronto. Oh man, I want to go to Toronto. 7 degrees. That's insane. Let me see what it is here. Hold on. What is it here? 53 where I am. How is it 7 degrees? That's crazy. Did you mean like 57? How is it so different? Anyway, I need to visit Toronto. I always now I'm thinking of doing, like, I would love to do an in-person kind of like I would just someday, guys, someday I will do in-person trainings or something, or just discussions. Okay, Christina, trust Kim. I manifest the sunshine today. Nice. That's awesome. Hocus Hocus focus. For the past months, I've been deeply healing the dynamic with my parents. It seems as I choose to see them differently and heal, their ego strongly flares up and things got worse. Is that normal? 100%. It's just, okay, all that will happen. And not to put a limiting belief in your mind, but when we manifest for something, often we will get the opposite of it. What is that? That is simply because if you imagine, see if you guys can see this. I can't see myself in real time. I'm assuming you can see this. If you imagine this, this vessel is you, this is your body, this is your system, and the water are your beliefs and conscious and unconscious. And if you were to imagine filling this glass up with water, and just imagine for a second that stuff is floating on the top, and the stuff is your old wounds, fears, the things that you're affirming against. When you fill this water up, all of the water is going to get higher and higher, and the stuff that's on the surface is going to be your old wound, right? Because you're filling yourself up with the love and all the belief and the trust, and the old wounds are going to come up and rise up to the surface. And when they rise up and they start to overflow, that is what a trigger looks like. That is what the old story looks like. It's giving you a chance to let it go. It's giving you a chance to let it overflow, let it fall out. Don't collect it and put it back in. When you fall for it and when you trust it and you're like, oh, this isn't working, you're basically taking it and you're putting it back into yourself. Let it purge, let it go. It's kind of like, it's even using a 3D allergy example, when our bodies, it's called the bucket theory in medical terms, for allergens. If you are allergic to something, your system can, and I know this is very 3D, your system can handle a lot of allergens, but once you tip it over the scales, if you have too much allergens in your system, when you get reactions, when you have allergic reactions, that's just everything kind of tipping over the bucket and coming out, basically. It's actually not a good analogy to use. Sorry about that. This is what happens on live. I didn't have the time to really, whatever, ignore that part. Kat made a decision to drop the old story once and for all yesterday, and my person literally asked me out a few hours later. Bam, there you go. Good job. Happy for you. Awesome. Christina, loving the blunt answers. I'm going to have to be blunt from now on. I really am. Because, hopefully I'll show up more in this energy, because I don't really think the other is helping you guys. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it. Taylor's, I'm just going to say Taylor. Good afternoon from New York. Good afternoon. I've been struggling lately. I believe in divine timing. Divine timing is your timing, but I also believe in manifesting. I feel bad about trying to control the outcomes of my desires. You know what I want to say? Taylor, with love, stop. Just stop trying to control the outcome and trust. And divine timing is when you become in alignment and in trust with God. That's all it is. Divine timing is when you become trusting and in alignment with God and with what God wants for you. Trusting your higher self, trusting God, trusting that literally you have no control over the outcome. None of us do. We don't have control over anything in our 3D. We have 100% control over us and what we believe and what we feel and what we think. That's where it stops. And then you hand it over and you trust. Okay, so stop. Just stop. Just stop trying to control the outcome. Just stop, literally. Enjoy your life. And I am going to have to answer this, and I'm really sorry, because this could be my sofa delivery. Hello? Hello? Hey, how are you? Okay, cool. Okay, awesome. So I'll see you downstairs in like 15 minutes. Sounds good. Thank you. Okay, bye. Yay, my sofa delivery is going to be here in 15 minutes. Yay, which means from now on, probably every night, if the weather is good and if it's not too hot, I will be out there, laying out there with Bella and Felix, probably listening to music or listening to affirmations and just enjoying the sounds of nature and air and blissing out. Like probably literally, unless the weather is bad, I will be outside every night. Who wants to come over for a little chill session and hang out? I wish that would be awesome, but no, sorry. Okay, so whoa, Tony. I missed something here. You guys know I'm gonna have to hang up. I mean, end this very soon, right? So that was kind of a heads up. I'm going to have to end this in a minute. Tony, comforting your parents' inner child is very intense. Yeah, it's very intense, but it's also like extremely, extremely powerful. Ray Light, I laughed when you said God forbid while saying there is a version of me with a man. Oh, right. And the funny thing is I love people and I love men. Some of my favorite people are men. I love men very much. I I just, yeah, it's just never going to be like in that romantic way. It just won't. I remember when I was younger, this was before I understood really about this whole thing that we always talk about, but I was probably in my I want to say I was in my early 20s, and I was between girlfriends, and I was working. I was working, and this security guard who was such a gorgeous man. He was, I don't know, 6'4" or something, handsome as can be, extremely like everything about him was just, he was just gorgeous. Men and women like fell on over for him. And obviously I wasn't impressed because it wasn't, I can say, okay, you're gorgeous, but like, yeah, you just do nothing for me. But he asked me out, and for whatever reason, I was like, you know what, I guess I was curious. So I was like, let me just see what happens. So I told him that I was gay, and I made it very clear. I'm happy to like, just kind of see if I can feel feelings, but I kind of don't think it's going to happen. So I started hanging out with him and going out with him. And he just couldn't get enough of me because he said I was like, I don't know, girlfriend and like a younger brother at the same time, because we could like have fun and whatever. He was a great guy. And I literally, I kissed him, and like he was somebody, like he would visit me when I was at work, because I dated him for probably a couple of weeks or a few weeks, and he would come to see me at my job in the afternoon. And I swear to God, everybody would be like, oh my God, who is that? And I was like, I just wasn't even like, so what ended up happening was we went out one night. He took me out to the movies. He wanted to hold hands. I tried to hold his hand, and I said, I'm really sorry. I can't do this. This feels wrong to me. I don't want to know you that way. I don't want to be with a guy. This is not me. I'm sorry. I don't have any feelings. And if I'm going to have any feelings for any guy, it would be someone like you, and he asked me if I would just kiss him. So I gave him a kiss, and I was completely grossed out by it. And he was a good kisser, but it's just not a thing at all. So anyway, that was my little story with men. My friend is here, so I got to go. I love you guys so much. I will talk to you guys soon. Hey, I'll be right down. Okay. Okay. Hold on. I'll text you because I'm on live on YouTube right now. So I'll tell you in a sec. Okay. Bye. Okay, guys, I love you guys so much. I got to go, and I will talk to you